Hello, hello. This is Jeanette Chasworth, and it's the Color Whisperer. And here we are today to talk about all things home and healing. And today we're going to be a little bit more on the healing side. We have a marvelous guest with us today. Her name is Sharon Nada, and she has got a mission so big. And wait till you see her. She's just got a heart as big as all outdoors. And drive like nobody's business. So I'm going to let her explain her mission because she can explain it way better than I can. And so let's bring her on. Sharon Nada, welcome, welcome.
Hi, Jeanette. Thank you so much for inviting me here today. I'm so excited to be here and to be on this amazing network. So this is very exciting and such a serious subject, and as well as enlightening and healing and all good things. That way we can, because when we know better, we do better most of the time. At least we try to, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, turn on the lights. There you go.
Yeah.
Light shine.
Lighting is okay, so this is a whole other episode. We're not going to get into it today, but lighting is so important. And for some reason, it doesn't matter. I've got a big ring light in front of me, and it just like it looks like I'm in the dark. There's so much light in this room, I can't even tell you. So anyway, that's a podcast for another day. But I'm really excited about this mission that you have. So let's talk a little bit about what that is, and tell everybody what it is you're here to do, and what you're creating in the world.
Okay, well, perfect. Thank you so much. So the most important thing is that I have had some really life-changing experiences. I think transformations, or breakdowns bring breakthroughs in our life, right? And that's kind of how we become who we are. So I mean, I've been a life coach and energy healer for many years, and pretty much since I would say 2010, and in 2011, I built my new office. I started writing a new book, and I was all excited. And so, I had little children, and I needed a little private space where I could just close the door and that's it. We all been there, done that. And in that space, I created this beautiful, amazing office, which had 2 monitors. It had my Wi-Fi router, and it had my cordless phone, my internet, my regular cell phone, and all this great technology, the printer, the works. And I was even doing energy healing out of there, and it was off my bedroom, so it was very convenient to close the door to my bedroom, and I had access from the outside. It was like the perfect little space, sacred space. And a couple of years later, I realized that I was getting headaches, and I wasn't feeling very well. I was feeling very drained, and just like, what's the heck's going on? And I'm thinking, boy, I'm getting very forgetful. And that's when I realized, I'm like, geez, I got to start taking more omegas and start taking more vitamins and cleaning up my body, because something's going on here that I'm not used to. So anyway, somebody introduced me to something called shungite, and they're like, oh, this, I think you're really electromagnetic sensitive. And I'm like, what's that? I never heard of that before. And so she's like, no, you probably are. And she goes, just wear this little rock, and it's going to help neutralize the radiation that's coming into this little office of yours, because you're really, really, you're very sensitive to this, and it's affecting your body. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe you're right. So believe it or not, within a couple days, I was feeling so much better. Like the angel just descended upon me. I'm like, wow, the clarity, the brain fog is gone. I feel so much better. Well, that was that. And so then I'm like, everybody needs to learn about this. And I started talking about it and putting it into my products, and started creating neutralizing radiation stickers that neutralizes radiation, anti-radiation stickers that neutralizes the radiation from your cell phone and your electronics. And here's the thing, I was so passionate about it because my first husband back in, oh my gosh, it was back in 1998, in 1999, he actually passed away with a brain tumor. And it was a glioblastoma brain tumor. And he left me with my 1-year-old son at the time. And, he was only 33 to 34 years old at the time when he got a diagnosis and passed away. And once you get a, devastating gosh, a devastating, situation like that. You're just, especially when you're younger, you're not expecting it, right? And then all of a sudden this happens. You're like, whoa, we didn't have any insurance or anything. We're just like living our life and starting it off. And within, 6 months, he was gone, and his dying wish was to see my son's first birthday, and that was it. Well, I started putting two and two together, and I started thinking, wow, okay, wait a minute. That was in 1999, and then now let's fast forward to this point now. It was in 2013 to 14. And I'm like, wow, we got a lot more technology than we did back then. So I started doing research, and that's when I realized I found a study that actually from the 1980s that said electricians have the highest rate of brain tumors with the glioblastoma brain tumor than all other occupations. And that was before we had cell phones. That was when we only had beepers and pagers, if for those people who are old enough to remember beepers and pagers, right? So those little black things that beep, 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 beep. Well, so all of a sudden I'm thinking, oh my gosh, at this point, wow, I don't want my children, because I had gotten remarried, I fell back in love, got remarried, had another child, and I didn't want my children to have this brain tumor issue, right? Nobody does. So, oh my gosh, it was devastating. So I'm like, everybody needs this. I got to make this for everybody. So that's why I really started getting so passionate about integrating, an understanding, because we were only in 3G going into 4G at that time, and we were just talking about 5G.
5G, I tell you, I felt that big time when COVID hit and it was going in. I could totally tell when they had it on, it was very draining. It still is very draining.
It is. It really is. And people really have to understand that all this technology is not our natural field of energy at all. And it's different. It's, we have a harmonic field of energy. The earth is a harmonic field of energy. We work in synchronicity together. Synchronicity. I said that too quickly. I get all excited. I talk really fast. And so we work in synchronicity together with the earth, the moon, the tides, the ebb, the flow, the sun rising, the moon setting, and, just us getting up in the circadian rhythms, and everything's all together in harmony. Electronics are not. Electricity is not. Radiation, this what's happening is not.
No.
And it is really disrupting toxic energy into our systems and into our entire energy field. So what ended up happening was, come to find out, fast forward, it'll be 2 years this April 30th, when I found out 2 years ago, April 30th, that I went in for emergency brain tumor surgery. And I had 43 staples opening up my entire head to get out a brain tumor that was almost like 5 to 6 centimeters large, which is about the size of a small plum, an egg, pushing all my brains to the side.
Wow.
That brain tumor, when you do the math going back, it was the biopsy said it was an asymptomatic meningioma brain tumor, which means that it wasn't in my brain, but it was between the skull and the membrane. But it was large enough for, it's a very common tumor for women to have, the type 1. Well, I had a type 2, Jeanette. This is where people need to listen up. And this is really important, because the type 2 meningioma brain tumor is a faster growing brain tumor. The average brain tumor usually grows in about 10 years, believe it or not. This brain tumor took about 10 years to grow, and it grew at 18%, which was a faster growing brain tumor. Asymptomatic, which means it could have gone either way, cancerous or not. Thank God the angels knew that I had a big mouth and I have a big message to share, that I'm still here talking about it. They're not taking me down yet. And the average person that gets this brain tumor is usually a Black man of color that's usually over 60 years old. The second type of person that gets this is somebody who's around radiation.
Wow.
So we did the math. This brain tumor started actually growing 1 year after I built this little office of mine, where I had the Wi-Fi router, all this electronics in this small little office. It's bouncing off the walls, and I literally created a microwave oven. So when I had those headaches, the brain fog, the things I never had before, which was a year to 2 years after, my tumor was almost 1 centimeter at that time, and I was already getting side effects.
Wow.
Yep. So the beautiful thing is that the shungite neutralizes the radiation around us. So and it creates harmony where there's disharmony in the body. Okay. But the thing is, didn't stop my tumor from growing. It helped my body to feel better because it actually releases pain and makes you feel better. And, it has so many amazing positive side effects to it, except it didn't stop what was going on in my brain already. And it didn't stop the process of those brain cells. And so I say, those toxic cells that are already happening. And that's why I'm wearing this shirt today that says brain tumors, not recommended. Not recommended. Not recommended.
Sometimes we have to go through stuff like that to learn. And this is a classic case of your mess became your message.
You got it. Exactly.
Because that's what we struggle through, what we overcome. And then we feel empowered and impassioned to solve it for other people so they don't have to go through what we've gone through.
Exactly. And, the saddest thing is that the glioblastoma brain tumor, which is the most aggressive brain tumor on the planet, then they still don't have a cure from it from when my husband was first diagnosed. The average lifespan, like when you're diagnosed with it, could be possibly 9 months if you're lucky. It can average from like right away, who knows what's going to happen, fatal, to within possibly 2 to 3 years. And that's like if you're very lucky, but the average is about 9 months to a year and a half of expectancy. And the saddest part is that children between the ages of 0 to 18 years old, that is the number one killer of brain cancers for children right now. Wow. And we never used to hear about this, did we? We used to hear about leukemia, and like lots of other things that would happen to children. Leukemia was like the biggest thing. It's not anymore. This is it. This is huge.
They want to play with their phones. How many parents, like, they go out and like, oh, here, give the kid the phone to play with to shut them up, right? And their brains are still growing, and then they're growing with all this stuff. It's difficult.
Well, there's a lot. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. It's okay. Go ahead. No. And how many kids are sitting around with phones in their pockets, because
it's our lifestyle. It's our lifestyle today.
It is. And we were lucky if we had a phone in our room, let alone, in our pocket, right?
Yeah. And I have to say this, interesting that between COVID that happened and all the technology that we're around, and I don't know if one has anything to do with the other, but what we do know is that it is toxic and creates free radicals in our body, everywhere in our body. And if your body, starting with children, like you said, babies, in vitro, mommies have babies in vitro. And while they're pregnant and they're putting the laptops on their laps, they're putting they're using the cell phone in their pocket. They're, in their front pockets, their back pockets. It's maybe even in a crossbody around them. They're holding their tablets right here. So in vitro, these babies are being affected by the radiation. Now, here's the next thing: as their bodies are growing, and there's mitochondrial effects. There's brain growth stimulant effects. We know it causes ADD. It can even cause autism, as well as other genetic effects, deformities and things like that. So we have a lot of health problems that are surrounding us that people are not even aware. They're blaming it on the environment. They're blaming it on stress, but this is an environmental stressor that needs to be attended to, and people need to wake up right now. And they don't have the studies to prove technology is moving too fast,
right,
for anybody to create for this multi-trillion-dollar business, right? To create a true test when they're still using the studies that say it's okay from test dummies from the 1980s that were 220-pound man bodies on a flip phone. And it was okay for them when they're using it maybe a couple hours a day, because that's what we did back in
Right.
the late 80s, early 90s,
Right.
right? So today we're giving it to our children and babies at dinner tables when they're out in restaurants.
Right.
And we're giving it because it's safe, because we want our kids to be safe in school, because we're scared for our children to be in school systems without phones. We want to know what's going on, or on the buses going back and forth to school, because it's a safety mechanism, or baby monitors in their cribs. But that is all Wi-Fi, and our Wi-Fi is part of our life. So what do we do about this? That's the thing, right? What do we do?
Well, and I don't think it's a coincidence that they started putting in the 5G when we were all at home with COVID. I really don't. And have you seen the study where you go back in time and it's like when they started doing radar, there was a lot of people died. And when they started bringing electricity in, remember when there was the whole Tesla Edison controversy, as far as which one was going to win, and they actually were like, oh, the electricity will kill you. There were a lot of people that were afraid of it and afraid of its effects. And if you go back through each of these electrical big transformations, didn't make the news, but there were a lot of people that died around each one of these.
I was just reading about that, actually. It's kind of funny that you said that. And, I skimmed through somebody's post or an article that I had read. And that was really fascinating, because it was every time there was a new release of something new that was electrical in this world, we had like another kind of plague that happened, or something that happened. And that's why they say this is considered the plague of the 21st century, and until people really open their eyes to this, we really need to be, my whole thing is we have to live, we have to be smarter than our smart electronics so we can live healthier in a digital age. And that's it.
Mention how much it dumbs us down.
It does. It does. I was just talking to a friend of ours just the other day. Oh, that's two things I was going to say. Was one of them is I've had people coming to me because I've been in the business as an energy healer, working around this for so long. And they've really had a lot of between, like, I would say 16 to 17 to 23-year-old, mostly boys, but I know girls too, that are actually having so much mental illness right now, mental challenges, even up to schizophrenia. And I'm really concerned it could be because CBD is wild out there. Maybe they're taking it at younger ages. I don't know what it is. But I also do think that they are growing up on this technology. And all these children that I know are surrounded by, they're constantly with monitors in their faces, addicted to the videos, which we love video games. That's part of their life. That's what they're growing up with. But we have to practice. We must practice balance, just like my tree behind me. It's balance, grounding yourselves outside, grounding yourselves, getting the sun, realizing that we're all connected, that we need a balance of everything to create us to have a beautiful, harmonic human life.
I love your tree, by the way. As soon as we came on screen, I was like, oh, I love that. I need one of those. Mine caught my eye immediately.
This is my new office, my new improved 5.0 office, that I got in the last 2 years. Trust me, I tore my house apart after this happened. It was like literally a couple months after my surgery. And here's there's a couple things there's so many things, right, to share. Slow down. Slow down. Back on the train.
We got lots of time.
So when I built this office because I'm like, I cannot have that other office anymore. Like, ooh, no way. So we closed down that office off my bedroom, built this one. My daughter moved out, she graduated high school. So I had the brain tumor surgery in April 30th last year, like last week of April, 2 years ago. And literally 2 months later, I literally completely tore my house apart under construction. She moved out. My son had moved out. I'm like, that's it. My office in the back ended up becoming a storage area. And I said, this is my new office. I got a beautiful view of my butterfly garden out front. We created a beautiful waterfall and the entrance. It even has shungite in it and all types of great things for the feng shui through the home. And this is how we need to live, to realize that, it is about being in peace and harmony. And this is our sacred space. It's our sacred homes where we live and work and breathe and raise our children and families, and people come to visit. And when people come to visit my place, they're always like, oh my God, so it feels so good here, I don't want to leave. But yeah, so it is really, really important to understand that energy is everywhere. And Jeanette, I know you know this as the Color Whisperer because I looked up your stuff. I learned more about you and I love what you do. It's amazing. And it's so true because it's all connected with our feelings, our emotions, the color, how we, breathe, eat, feel, our emotions, happy, sad. And the thing is that let's go into that a little bit deeper. When I was in the hospital, and when I was in the emergency, I went into the emergency room and I said, I think I have a brain tumor, because intuitively I was like, I knew. They already told me, they're like, you're going to have a brain tumor. It's going to be one and done. You're going to be okay. And I told my husband that, and he's like, you think you have a brain tumor? I said, yeah, because I couldn't lift my hand up this high. And then I was having a problem holding onto anything. I couldn't even hold onto a hairbrush. I couldn't even button my pants at one point. And then my foot started dragging. And that's when I realized, I'm like, okay, there's definitely a problem going on here. And I went into meditation, and that was the message I heard. And I'm like, I felt totally in trust. I knew that it was going to be okay. So needless to say, I did all these Facebook lives. It was like crazy because I just knew it was going to be okay. And that's when we have to really be in our alignment, right? Complete alignment. And they said, when the doctor came in to do the surgery and he explained everything to me, what I have, what was going to happen, he said the same exact words that Spirit said. He says, it's going to be one and done and everything's going to be okay. Quote unquote. It's like, okay, this is it. We're here in the right place at the right time, the right people. So then I get out of surgery, go back on Facebook Live like instantly after telling everybody what was going on. And then I ended up, I went into, you have to go into ICU right after that. I went into ICU, and as soon as I was like really aware, like what was going on and everything wore off, I started doing sound healing, listening to sound healing music, doing meditation. In fact, on Facebook, before I went in, I told everybody, listen, surround me. I don't want to hear one, I'm sorry that you're going through this. I only want high vibrations. That's it. Feed me love, feed me good energy. I don't want to hear anything else but that. Just hold me in sacred space, right? And this is how powerful we are. So when I get out of that, at the surgery, I immediately went into ICU and I started listening to the sound healing. I was doing hypnosis as well as doing some NLP, mastery NLP on myself because I have all these, tools anyway. I was released out of the hospital with a craniotomy within 24 hours after surgery, 43 staples in my head, ready to go. She's like, whoa, that got her right out of there. Lifted her right up. And yeah, so that is the power of our thoughts. That is the power of our energy. That is the power of our healing. And you can Google it and find anybody else on this planet Earth that has ever been released out of a craniotomy within 24 hours after surgery.
Because that's like such an incredible healing space your brain's open, like your skull it's a bone. It takes a long time for that to heal.
Yeah.
And you got to make sure that, there's no infection and.
Yes. And having and you have to do the touch your nose test and make sure you can walk test and make sure you go in the bathroom test and all these little tests. everything was fine. So, energetically, yeah, I had to open this back up. It's taken me almost 2 years to get back. I know that I've been rebooted. I'm even at a higher place than before I went in. So I feel really, really empowered right now, which is fantastic. But I think, so that's why I just wanted to share that part of the story because, if we can't see it, we think it's okay, but
Right.
it's not. Our energy is so powerful and the energy around us is so powerful. And to keep a sacred home, a space that's loving and getting attention and healing is so important. And always working on yourself and knowing that, how can it get better than this? What can we do to make our life better in every possible way? And to attenuate our fields of energy around us. So for instance, that would be, I want to get back into, I see some questions here about the Alexa and electronics that are in the house, refrigerators, microwaves that talk to each other. Yep. And
I want you to show your jewelry too. So we've got a little time, but I want to make sure we show you some of your jewelry as well.
Oh,
go ahead and answer about Alexa and all that.
Yes. So, yeah. And I think it's really important for us to, first of all, to be aware of the electronics. What can we do? Well, I know that the Alexa, the Google, first of all, the Google Nest and a lot of these, the whole web system, I think they're horrible for our entire environment because you're literally, instead of creating a safe space of energy, you are literally encasing every single part of your home in energy, and you're never going to be able to get away from it, ever. The more that you can hardwire anything, the better it is for your entire home.
It's bad enough we got Wi-Fi everywhere. And then people have Alexas in every room or whatever the device is in every room. And that just magnifies it. I do have an Alexa, but I did get a second one and I'm like, ew, I can't. No, one is enough.
Enough.
It just was too much energy because I was like, no. And you're right. We've got our phones, we've got our computers. They even have refrigerators and microwaves that talk to each other. I mean, you've got a refrigerator that monitors every time you pull something in and out, tells you when you need to buy eggs or, I mean, on one hand, it's nice, but I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm a little old-fashioned. Paper and pen works too,
Yes. And I mean, I have a washing machine, a washer and dryer that's all smart, supposed to be smart. And I'm like,
right?
I don't use it. All I do is turn it on and turn it off. I don't need to worry about doing it when I'm away or whatever. Just, if we can get back to just being ourselves, using our brain power,
right?
And learning to think for ourselves is really, really important. But some of it, they say it's convenient. I think that some things are convenient, but on the other hand, I think it's also convenient because our brains and our health will thank us for it 10 years,
right,
20 years from now. That's to me what I am grateful for, is to know that, I am going to be smarter than those things. They don't have to take over my life. I don't need to have every single convenience out there, and I think that's the most important thing, to teach that to our children. It's so important for us to teach this to the next generation, because we're not going to put our children into the cars without seatbelts. We're not going to teach our children to have sex without condoms. We need to practice safe sex. We need to practice, safety in the car, no texting and driving as little as you can, please, for us to be set the good examples, as well as, most importantly, is to, practice safe technology.
Right.
And that really needs to be listened to and to create awareness around this.
And have you been in a Tesla?
I know about that.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So I will not get one. I don't want one on so many levels.
But batteries, is it like one huge lithium driving battery?
Well, but okay, there's all that. That's bad. But if you get in them, there's a screen. It's the size of a laptop. There's it's a tablet. It's an actual tablet in there, and it shows you everything on the road, and it's very distracting because you can see everything, and there's so many bells and whistles to look at to distract you from the road, and that's why it's so smart. Is that it does so much to distract you because you can literally drive by looking at the screen and not the road. And they want to get to the point. Well, they are getting to the point where the Teslas can be self-driven. Although one thing they did do is, even though it will self-drive, it won't drive unless you have both hands on the steering wheel.
Oh, that's
So
good.
that is good. That is good. But, and then they have, now because you're going to be charging and you might have to be in a charging station. So they have things like Netflix and YouTube. And now they won't run while you're driving, but it's a whole entertainment thing. And on one hand, it's really cool, but I mean, I've only been a passenger one. I haven't driven one, but it's like there's so many buttons to push to find this and find that, and so many bells and whistles. And it's like, you know what? It would be really easy for somebody to get distracted from what they're actually supposed to be doing. And there's a lot more in the road now. There's a lot more
There's a lot more because the buzzword, it's like the trend right now, Tesla, Tesla, Tesla.
Right.
My husband wanted to get when he's retiring. And I'm like, no, we do not want a Tesla. I do not want a Tesla.
No, and then you're surrounded by all that Wi-Fi. Now, anytime when you have the Bluetooth attachment, you're surrounded in Wi-Fi. But the Tesla's got so much.
And I want to know what's going to happen to our environment as those batteries, with the lithium batteries and all these batteries that they're using up. Where are they going to dispose, and how are we going to dispose of them?
And it's not better for the environment. How much gas does it take to create the lithium battery?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It can also be hard to find charging stations because they're not everywhere. Yeah, I drive too much. The most I would do is a hybrid.
Yeah,
it just doesn't. And they're not, like, okay, so you're not buying gas while you're doing it. And in my world, there's a lot of ways you can look at green. So one is, okay, how far is it coming from? So there's the actual footprint. How much does it cost? Like, so in the case of the batteries, how much gas, how much resources does it use to create? And then what happens afterwards? Like those solar windmills, they have to be buried. They have to change out, I think it's every 3-5 years. And then the arms on it, and they have to be buried because they're it's like,
wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. So
wow.
Yes, they create all this wind environment, but there's another side that they don't tell you about disposing them. And 3 to 5 years is not that long.
No, 3 to 5 years, and they have no way to make it. I mean, that's sustainable energy without.
But it's not sustainable because right. If you look at the whole footprint, it's not.
Oh my gosh, that's bad. Yeah.
So we're only being, all this, everybody, like in California here, they want everybody to have electric cars, I think by 2030. God help me. But the thing is, like, first of all, we don't have the grid system to support that. Mm-mm. And then, okay, and even so, I don't know all the whys and wherefores on the solar, but I'm sure there's some whys and wherefores there too. There's no, like, this is the perfect answer. There's always a pro and a con, and you got to pick. And there, especially like you said with the lithium batteries, like it's just not so simple. They also say we will be immortal by 2030. At least the future said that, and it will be because of electronics and us. Scary. Ooh.
And Mark, it's funny. Oh, well, it's not funny. You see that?
I don't like that at all, Mark. Ew.
My daughter is in environmental sciences as well as a biology major in college, and they're still saying the same thing between 2030 to 2050 tops. But they do say that we do have the technology to reverse the greenhouse effects, and for us to, if we can really get on the same bandwagon and start taking care of our planet. And I don't know. I believe that there is going to be a better technology than 5G someday. I know that they're working on it. There's some fantastic things that they're working on that the Egyptians used to use way back. And like, it's like a kinetic type of energy. It's not a motor control energy. It's more like what we can use with our mind power, but they're creating it into energy for cars and energy for like a telekinesis type energy, because lost civilizations This is the things that they, they really do believe as they do research, not what the archaeologists today say, but the archaeologists that truly, not the ones that are running our world, but the ones, just like we have the test studies from the $1 trillion businesses for Wi-Fi that are okay, but
Oh,
then we
it's
have
safe.
the
Sure. We
studies.
tested it on one person. It's safe.
Yeah,
There's a few other things they did test like that on that were completely inaccurate, but we'll stay away from that subject.
Yes. And like Mark says, the Mayans and Egyptians, they were way ahead of their times because we still don't exactly know. There's no proof how they made those pyramids the way they did and all around the world the way they did. So they had to use some type of other technology. And I know that they actually have patents on this technology now. It's been created. So if they can put this into effect and make it happen, of course, one of the car companies have already said, oh, you can use our labs for it. Of course, why not, right? So we can run the world with ours. But if we can create that new technology that's using this amazing energy of our planet, of our universe, of who we are, to be able to power things, what a better world we will be living in. And it will be so much more sustainable. But we got to really get on the bandwagon, because right now this shirt is going to mean a lot to a lot of people, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So, and I just want to go through.
I have a friend who he just had major skin cancer on the back of his ear. They said it was from the phone.
I believe it.
From the cell phone. And it was this big. I kid you not. Before he went in, now he says it's about this big. That's how much of his skin they had to cut off. And I haven't seen it since he got out of surgery, but yeah, I mean, there's some very real. I want to see some of your jewelry. Can you show some of your jewelry so we can see what you do?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes. Okay.
We can talk for a long time.
I know. And there's so many things. I just want people to be aware. I just want. Okay. Okay. I'll show the jewelry. I'm going to show you how it works and why it works the way it does. But I do want people to know that it affects us neurologically. It affects our emotions, our behaviors. It affects our thyroids. It affects, there's things that people don't even think about. The psoriasis, eczema. There's also burning sensations that people have. So there's a lot of skin issues. We talked about migraines and brain fog. We talked about the eyes, wearing the really, really good glasses, blue blocker glasses, very important, very important. They are fighting new cancers and new. In fact, I had a friend of mine who just told me about an issue that his eye doctor told him that was caused by the monitors and the blue light, and where his glands are stopping to work. They're just getting so dried out, and his eye glands. So every morning he's waking up like he has pink eye and having to uncrust his eyes open. He says this is becoming very common because of the light and the dry eyes being caused by it. I also know there's more cancers. There's a new cancer that my optometrist a couple of years ago told me about, that they learned about at his big conference that he went to. So wearing cataracts are becoming younger and younger ages. If you start talking to people in their 50s, they're getting cataracts. That was never. I just had a friend.
Before. She's like, yeah, she's 50. She had 20/20 vision, and now she's got cataracts. Just bam.
Yeah. So we have got to think of the children who are on this now. So I don't even sell blue blocker glasses, but I'm saying get good ones. Don't just get any one you get. Get good. Make sure they're good. And how do I know they're good? You got to just do the research. Anyway, so the thyroid is really important, even gut issues in the heart and the tumors. So neutralizing and wearing things around your heart is very important. I have this adorable, this is one of my favorite ones. I call it my angel heart here, the angel wings. And it's one of my favorites because it hangs low and it protects this whole heart area while you're at the computer. And then and it's great for kids because they can just put it underneath their clothing. So they can take it on and off. It's really, really easy. I have the shungite is important to understand how it works. People always need to know the why, right? We're like, oh, we can't wait to buy. We can't wait to buy because the story is really important. The story works. But what Shungite has something called a fullerene. It's a okay, so shungite is a carbon, it's carbon. Okay, so it's in between the state of a coal and a diamond, okay? Right smack dab in between. And if people understand Epcot, they have the big Epcot ball. That big Epcot ball is actually considered the perfect molecule of the 21st century. It's a geodesic dome. That's the shungite molecule right there. So that's what's in it that's making the fullerene so powerful. It's really, really important. And so what happens is that that's a crazy link. Can we make a better link? I don't know if we can put one in Bitly or something and make a short link for people to get the discount on the book. I didn't get a chance to do it. It's going by. So
let me see if I can do that while you're talking.
Okay, yeah, if you can make a Bitly link, that'd be fantastic. So here's like a normal flashlight, okay? It doesn't work if you turn it off and you take it apart. Leave the batteries in it, but without the component of the conductor, it's not going to work. See, it's not working. Shungite has its own electrical field. It's the perfect field, like we were talking about energy before, the energy field of our environment, of who it is that we're meant to be in this world. It's perfect harmony, okay? That's what's important, the most grounding stone on the face of this planet. And that's why it helps to heal the body. When you put shungite, this is just a pyramid that you set at your desk, into a flashlight, it automatically lights it up, okay? Without the conductor. There is nothing else that does that. You can't take, this is a piece of quartz. It's not going to light it up. You can take selenite. It's got a cute little selenite heart here. It's not going to light it up. Okay. I can take, I've got another one, fluorite here. It's not going to light it up. Nothing lights it up because and this is what it's doing to our body. So it's restoring harmony in our body, and it's restoring. So that's why it works for plants. It works for your pets. It works for your food. You can put it in your refrigerator, definitely for your water. It's really great to restructure your water. It actually pulls out the toxins out of your water. So it's always, cool. Yes, it's always.
I'm not going to be able to get a bit link. I've got to reset a whole account and everything. So.
I might be able to do it if you can talk about something. I can do it too.
So the shungite is very powerful, and it's really important to get that support. And you have a bunch of different types of jewelry, I believe. And
I do.
It is very easy to wear. I know I have a few things that I've used in the past. One of the healing techniques I did has a necklace that you wear for, it protects you from a lot of stuff, and it does make a big difference. And, it's such a simple thing to wear a necklace to keep yourself safe from all this stuff. It's not something permanent. If you don't wear it for a night, it's not going to kill you or anything like that. But it is it makes such a difference to not be bombarded with that. When 5G came in, oh my gosh, I'd be laying in bed and like, oh, what is this? It felt like I was on a boat or something. And, we don't have control over that stuff. We do have control over what goes on our body and what goes in our body. So that's food. We don't even have control over everything because they put so much crap in food. They put the stuff in the sky. I mean, there's stuff in our water. I mean, so what we do have control over, we need to be really careful.
You really need to be careful.
Yeah, and that's a little bit easier. Corellia Creations. All right.
Yeah, that's my regular website is Corellia. But for some reason, Bitly isn't showing the new, they must have changed the format. And now oh, gee whiz.
See, I told you.
So you know what? We're going to do this. You can go to the ebook only, and you're going to put in this code, The Color Whisperer.
Okay.
Whisperer. I can't. Okay, that's all you do for the code. So you're going to go right to the ebook. I'll send you the link for the ebook.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm going to get you the link right now for the ebook. And I want you to learn about it because it's all, like I always say, I think people love learning. They want to learn more. Why does it happen? How is it happening? What's going on? And okay, here, hold on. And this will teach you. And then the beautiful part is, where's my ebook at? Digital downloads. The beautiful part is that you will be able to get a 10% off coupon inside the book as well. So not only are you getting it for free, you're going to get a 10% off your entire order. Okay, so here's a direct link to the book. And then you use the Color Whisperer, just like I'm writing it here. And that code will get it to you for free.
Awesome. So we only have a few minutes left. So let's, do you have a couple pieces you can put like to the camera so we can really see it?
Well, okay, we were talking about the home. I know that. So I brought out here a beautiful sun catcher.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yes, this has shungite and citrine in it. And guess where the best place to use it?
Where?
Is in your car. Hanging from your rear view mirror, like we were talking about. All you do is take your little clip, and we make all these ourselves. I mean, they're our own designs. So nobody else has these at all. Nobody does. And just clip it like that right around your windshield or in your home, in your kitchen, and you will have the shungite neutralizing that area for you right around your head where you're driving, which is really important. I have these bracelets. I have tons of bracelets. So, you got lots of bracelets that you can wear, all different types. They have for men, for women, for children. A lot of people don't sell for children. We sell for children. We have
and you mix them so it's not all shungite. Did I see other colors in there?
Correct. Yes, I did that so fast, right? I know. Yes, we have amethyst. We have tiger's eye. So this is our Love and Harmony. We have this for children and adults. And then we have the tiger's eye triple protection.
I love
shungite, which is great for courage and having courage in yourself and protection. So we also have a pretty bling. We also came out with, we're the only ones that have it, and we were out of stock. We should get it in the next 30 days. We have the larger size, which are rings that you can wear on your, like if some people get the like tinglies in their fingers when they're holding the cell phone or using the Bluetooth mouse. This wearing the medium size on your fingers will help to reduce that, neutralizing the finger area, so you're not getting the arthritis, the tingles, and all the effects.
I need one of those.
Yes, really important. But the one that we're out of right now is we have all black, and we also have one that has bling on it. The other one that we're out of, but we're getting it in the next 30 days, is one for your smartwatch. For anybody who insists on wearing their smartwatch. So the small one is the tiny one, and it goes onto your smartwatch, so you never have to wear a bracelet. It is really, really cool. So then we have that in all black, and then the bling also. What else? We have necklaces for men and for women, and we have pet charms for pets, which are really, really, they're affected just like the kids. And then when the kids go to school, they really need it. And most important, they really need to be wearing this stuff when they go to school, because the schools are filled with it.
And they put all the 5G towers right by the school.
Oh, God.
Right by the schools.
Don't get me talking on that topic. Okay. Oh, geez. And then, of course, we have our, what goes on the back of your cell phone is the radiation stickers. I have two because those were my samples. But one says good vibes and one has a shield on it. Yeah, so here's the shield. Yep, there you go. And these are filled with, these we actually make in-house. And they're filled with shungite powder, saturated in a colloidal silver mix. It also has quartz and selenite. And so it's almost like an orgonite type protection. So I always tell everybody, they get very overwhelmed. They're like, where do I start? I said, the best place to start is if you have a family or if you have a lot of electronics, you get the starter kit. The starter kit's on our website. Go right to that starter kit because it has 3 cell phone stickers. You can put them on your phones. You put them on your Alexa, all the small things. It has the larger e-stickers. You get 2 e-stickers, and the e-stickers you put on your laptop where you lay your hands, or on a larger, on your laptops or a Wi-Fi router. And there's a magnet that comes with it. You can put that on your refrigerator. You get, and so that way it covers a lot of things, a lot of people. And I said, and always get something for your body, because you're not going to leave your home. If you're playing in a football field, you're never going to go out there without your helmet on, right? So keep your body protected, and get the ebook. I encourage you and invite you, get that ebook for free. Jeanette, we put it out there, and so you can just download that and learn what you need to learn, and save your money with your 10% off order. And there you go.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. This has been so incredibly enlightening, literally. I think a lot of people don't realize how much the energy around them affects them. It's huge. And everything around them has energy. And so it's about having the right energy around you for a healthy life.
It really is. And, when we don't have to live in a smart home, we need to be smart in our homes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you, Jeanette, so
You're
much.
very welcome.
Sharing this message. And if anybody has any questions, please email me, hello@corelliacreations.com. You're welcome to reach out, or, because people always have questions, and we'll be happy to help. That's for sure. Thank you.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed having you on. Maybe we can do another session, because we just barely tipped the
I know, right? It was
yeah, we could go on for quite a while. So let's do this.
There's so much more, and we can even get questions in advance from some of the people we talk to, because I'm on your listeners. So that'd be fantastic.
That would be wonderful. All right. Well, thank you very much. That is all for today. If you need any help with home and healing, you've got two great experts here, and we specialize in different things, but it is all about creating a home that you feel good in. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful week. Awesome. All right. So we are good to go, Mark. Do we need to find a commercial or something? So I guess I will talk some more. Oh, so you're not seeing my office this week because I didn't get the samples up. I got the sample paint that we talked about last week, but it's been too busy. I haven't got the samples up, but they'll be up by next week for sure. And I can't wait to go through that transformation with you guys. It's just going to be amazing. You got to see a lot about how shungite helps to create a healthy home, and having the right colors, the right shapes, the right textures is really, really important. Oh, I'm ready, Mark. Let me do this. So next week, we're going to have an architect on, and we're going to talk about building. Okay. So tune in next week, and we will be talking more about all things home and healing. Awesome. Thank you.
You know how people love to enjoy food and don't understand how to flavor their food or how to replicate a meal? They're interested in supplements but don't know where to begin? Well, what I do is I take the guesswork out of enjoying flavor and wellness with my flavorful spice blends, so that they can create delicious meals with healing benefits. Can Do Spice was created to help cooks at any level enjoy healing through food. Every spice blend was designed to give added health benefits of natural herbs. Every blend is complete. There's no need to add any additional spice for a delicious meal. Saving you time and money while adding supplements to your meals can be both tasty and fun. My earliest memories in the kitchen began with my father, Kenny Can Do Bond, so it was fitting that I would name this line after him. I have always looked to natural remedies to supplement the body, and I found myself hiding herbs and minerals in foods for my family. That's when it hit me. Everyone needs Can Do Spice. Everyone should be having this. It's an exclusive brand for cooks at any level who want to create flavorful dishes with healing benefits that can satisfy the body and soul. Add a little spice to your life. Give Can Do Spice a try.
The only trick you need to save time and money is to shop at Aldi. Aldi. Shop differently. Limitless length plus volume. Sensational from every angle. New Lash Sensational Sky High Mascara. Only from Maybelline, New York. Everything that touches your baby should be this comforting. Pamper Swaddlers. The #1 choice of hospitals is 2 times softer. All right, Trivago. Find me a hotel somewhere in Thailand where I can wake up with a view of the ocean. Awesome. The future. It's impossible to see. And when it's finally here, it might not be what you'd expect. It might just be better. Introducing Luxury Electric. Introducing Lucid Air. We're for those who love to discover, who don't need to travel to find something new, and who know when you spend less, you can discover even more at TJ Maxx and Marshalls. Smooth, velvety chocolate wrapped in precious gold. Ferrero Rocher.